The first 2 rounds of the championship might have been chaos in the midfield, but for Jacob Rafos, it has been smooth sailing. The young Norwegian is trying to do something that has not been done in 3 seasons, but we'll get to that in a moment. The question is if Luke Kraus can recover after being turtled last week in Knockhill. The Canadian came together with countryman Justin Robichaux, ending his race and dropping him to a 22-point deficit. Sure, it's early in the season, but as we have seen over the past 10 years, anything can happen, usually does, and every point matters. We welcome you to Lånkebanen in Norway, also known as Hell, for the NASA Rallycross Challenge, presented by Fisher Disc Golf, as we thank Ian Fisher for all of his support this evening. With Victor Vallee in the production truck and Philip Kraus next to me in the commentary box, I am Josh Mertz, as we welcome you to live Lights to Flag coverage of NASA Rallycross on the Automotive Sports Network. As I wrote this entire script focusing on Jacob Rafos, he did not make the drivers' meeting, but apparently he's registered for the session, so we'll just have to see what happens here in the next couple of minutes. As we're working on practice at the moment, we're going to run through the format for this evening. We're going to have 3 heat races, up to 11 cars in each, 6 laps, joker lap once, and the top 2 will advance to the feature race. The remaining cars will go to the semifinals, 2 races, up to 13 cars in each, 8 laps, joker twice. The top 3 will advance. And the final is 10 laps, 2 jokers, and 12 cars. As the Drivers' Championship coming into, like I said just a moment ago, in the Open, Jacob Rafos has a 22-point lead over Luke Kraus and Robbie Lorille, but who knows if Rafos is going to be racing or if he's allowed to race or whatever is going to happen. We'll see here in just a couple moments, but Josh Klog 42 points and Christian Lindo with 39. So it's tight from second on back. You'll notice if Rafos races, he has the red plate on his car and on the broadcast graphic as our championship leader. The Sportsman Cup, Tyler Campbell, 16 points ahead of Victor Aldrich, the 2 TWR Bug Life teammates, 57 and 41. Those guys out and away ahead of Crody Crosgrove in the Subaru. And Team Watson Racing Subi Squad has a 1-point lead over Woven Planet Racing in the Constructors' Championship, so that's going to be a great battle to watch as well. And the Manufacturers' Championship, Subaru ahead of Volkswagen and Ford, nothing new there. So I know Philip Kraus is not feeling the greatest, so we will try and alleviate the speaking for him, but Jacob Rafos is trying to make 3 race wins in a row. It has only happened 5 times previously. Elliot Porterfield back in 2012A, the first 2 rounds of the championship. Marwan Moftah in 2018B, Connor Parisi in 18C, Bo Albert 21A, and Sindre Silva in 21B, but nobody has won the first 3 rounds of the championship. 31 cars this evening. Nobody will fail to make the show, so that is certainly a nice little bit of information for those guys that might not be there on pace. As we currently look at the practice times, Adam Alderton, 36.675. He's up by a 10.5 over Luke Kraus, the defending champion in car number 1. P3, Josh Klog. 4th, Marwan Moftah. 5th, Xavier Ragster. And like I just mentioned, I don't want to badger you too much, Phil, but what are you expecting from today's race?
It's hard to tell, really. Honestly, probably a bit more chaos as we see Campbell smack the wall. Too many times I've spent time on myself. It's definitely a really challenging track, and I think you're going to be racing the track more than you're racing the competitors on it. But speaking of Jacob Rafos, he is here. It's just a question of if the officials will let him race. He's on track right now, actually, so I think they're going to let him race.
We shall see in just a moment as we ride on board Ryan Mowry in the 815 in the Subaru, as it's pretty tight from 3rd on back. I would say 3rd to probably 10th, covered by half a second. As Alderton at 10.5 up on Kraus, a further about 3/10 up on Klog.
Yeah, just going off the timings, I think it's going to be another midfield brawl, but it's about time to go to the quali and see where everyone seeds out for these heats.
It has 3 laps. You'll have to get your best lap, of course, to determine where you're going to be for those heat races. As we will take a look and see. I'll try and find somebody on track. First car on track looks like it's Ben Forrester in the 23. Someone who was really fast in practice. A couple guys. Matt Kingsbury and Chris Wetz. I'm not sure if it was because the track gripped up as we look at Kingsbury there in the 21 for Dirt Esport. Not sure if the Ford runs a little bit different. Wetz is in a Volkswagen, so I know the Ford handles a little bit better with the shorter wheelbase, but we'll have to see here through qualifying. But it was nice to see Chris Wetz up front. Remember, the only driver that has raced in every single season, at least once in every season, all 25 of them over these 10 years.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the best tracks for the short wheelbase cars, so I would fully expect to see the Volkswagen Beetles and Ford Fiestas challenging for the win, or just better positions than usual today.
As there was an update with the Subaru on the service, but I don't think it affected performance. I think it just affected, for example, as we had a couple cars making contact to where the Subaru lifted them up off the ground. That contact box has been fixed as we roll through qualifying. Once we get some lap times on the board, we'll be able to see the pecking order and certainly see who is going to be where. Kingsbury, I have on my monitor. We're looking at Josh Klug there, it looks like, in the 199. And nobody, as they are just starting their laps, as I
yeah, remember there's 2 warm-up laps.
Promise I know what I'm doing. There's 2 warm-up laps. I thought there was only 1. All right. Well, as I looked at Wetz,
there's the out lap, and then you have to do a full lap before it starts counting you.
That makes sense. So I was looking at Wetz on my monitor. He hooked the curb too much in turn 1 and didn't get a good rotation through the corner. Ray Kingsbury in the 25. He's going to cross the line. 38.311. Tyler Campbell was P1, Kingsbury P1 now, so we're going to see the rotation of people finishing their laps. Robbie Larill goes to the top of the board, Rafos goes to the top of the board in car number 13, so looks like they did allow him to race.
And that's a pretty dominant time from Rafos. Currently 4.5 tenths quicker in second place, Adam Alderton, who just slotted him there. Be interesting to see if Luke can respond to that. Obviously he needs to after the disappointing run last time out, but I'm not sure if he can.
I have to see where is our defending champion in car number 1, Luke Kraus. He's just about to finish his first lap. As we take a look here, out of the final corner, clipping the curb, over the line, 37.0, P2. But it's 3 tenths down on Rafos in car number 13. So it looks like everyone's really getting together here. We're going to take a look at the sportsman battle. Tyler Campbell in 37, sitting P18 overall. If I remember off the top of my head, he's way down the field. There's a couple guys ahead of him. Robichaux for sure, faster than him in the 37. So we'll just have to see how that will play out through this evening. Final lap for Rafos. Kraus in the 1. And here is Rafos with the red plate, car number 13. Clips the curb. He's not going to improve this lap. So where is Luke Kraus? Kraus is 3 tenths down. Let's see if he can make anything happen on this final lap of qualifying.
I don't think it's going to... No,
he's... So that might seal it here for qualifying, at least for pole position. As Luke Kraus crosses the line and does not get his lap counted because he hit the wall there.
Yeah, you can see the frustration speaking right now. He's just kind of throwing the car around. He knows he had a chance to get pole there. I don't think it's going to affect him too much. Like, it's still second. He's still on pole for his heat, but obviously you want to get pole position because if you win your heat, then you'll be on pole position for the feature.
But here's the big thing. We were supposed to run the short layout, but there's desync issues in the Joker. Layman's terms. Cars are lagging everywhere in the Joker. So to prevent 5 out of 6 laps in a race being hindered by lag, we changed that to the regular layout here in Norway. So these guys, some of them might have practiced the short layout all week, and then plot twist the day before the race in true NASA fashion, the layout is changed. So Rafos And even Kraus, though. They're both DWC drivers, so I would assume that series runs the regular layout.
I believe it does, but yeah, the NASA officials bamboozling the grid name a more iconic duo.
Over 10 years, it happens a lot. As we welcome you to event name according to our graphic. Thank you, Victor Vallee. As we take a look at the qualifying results here in Norway. Top 6 are Subarus, Volkswagen, Subaru, and then a Volkswagen in 12th to Justin Robichaux. 2 3/4 tenths was the difference between Rafos and Kraus. As we look through 13th through 24th, Tyler Campbell in the 37 Sportsman points leader, down a second and a half from our overall pole leader there. 32 cars getting ready to take part here in Norway.
I gotta say, I'm really surprised none of the Volkswagens or Fords were able to challenge for pole there. I guess they just really struggle on the fresh track comparatively, but hopefully they'll be able to challenge in the heats and semifinals today.
11 cars in this first heat race. Jacob Rafos, Robbie Larill, Savian Ragster, Magnus Okenhaug, Matt Kingsbury, Ben Forrester, Bodie Cryer, Christian Ost, Victor Aldrich, Sean Berriot, and Alex Abedi. Every single week, we know the start is crucial, but especially here, you can take the Joker off the start if I'm not mistaken, so some of these guys might take the Joker right off the get-go as we get ready for the first heat race here in Norway. Rafos not taking to the grid just yet, and now he is on the grid in car number 13. We were waiting for one more car. It was Bodie Cryer as we get ready to go green in Heat 1 here in Norway.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag, off the line. Larill got a better jump in the first phase. Rafos is going to beat him to turn 1. Who's going to Joker on the first lap? It looks like nobody does. Maybe the rule was changed without me knowing. Abedi hits Aldrich in the back of the field. One car around, it's Kingsbury, nearly hit by Cryer there. And this is not what Larill wants. Larill wants to try and take the fight. He sneaks to the inside of the young Norwegian down the hill in turn 5. Contact between Okenhaug and Ragster. And they beat and bang going up the hill as we ride on board with Robbie Larill in the 213. This is crucial time, Phil. You have to stay within touching distance of the 13.
Oh yeah, definitely. You don't want to let him get out your sights, because once he's gone, once he's pulled more in a second on you, good luck catching him. You want to at least have a visual marker as we see Okenhaug take the Joker.
Kingsbury with Ragster, and they make contact in the Joker. It looked like Ragster was trying to make turn 1. And the thing that we feared last week in Knockhill happened at a track we've raced before, as we catch the tail end of that on the replay. And that's exactly what happened, it looked like.
Yeah, it looks like Ragster was a bit wider than he would have wanted to be for that corner in the first place, and he just caught out the Joker in car. But it was like you were saying, this track layout switch was quite late, so I don't think people were practicing their Joker entries, because in the short layout you just throw it into the dirt, obviously, so it might just be a side effect of that.
Forster sits in P3 in the Subaru. A second and a half is the delta between Rafos and Larill. Where is the gap? And it is gaining quickly. I think, not to write this off already, because we know stuff happens, but I think Larill had a moment in turn 5 at the bottom of the hill on that first lap, and that's where he had to take it.
Yeah,
he couldn't get the grip on the corner.
Just enough for Rafos to start skedaddling away. I don't think Robbie's got any pace for him. He really need to challenge him on that first lap and leave the pressure on. So, is it top 2 a transfer through the heat? My apologies, but
it is top 2. Yes, semifinals are top 3. I get confused at my own format. As we take a look there at our race format once again, we're looking at Bodie Cryer and Alex Abedi. They are battling for the 8th position as we ride on board, I believe, Abedi, the German, in the 127. Very bumpy entering turn 2. Very hard to catch that apex. It's easy to spot if the track was flat, but because it's bumpy, at least for me, it was hard to get that apex.
Yeah, this track throws all the curveballs at every corner you think might be somewhat easy. They always throw some special spice in there. It looks like Cryer's serving a slowdown there, which is going to take him out of contention for that 7th through 9th battle, but it wasn't for a transfer spot, so I don't know how worried he is about it. Larill out the Joker ahead of Forrester pretty comfortably there, so should be able to transfer through for him.
We take a look here. Forster has not jokered. Larill runs it wide in turn 5. He's got to hope that Rafos catches the lap traffic here as we're going to take the white flag. And something go wrong. They do not joker. I don't think Rafos is going to catch this lap traffic, but we'll have to see. White flag in Norway. So our points leader trying to maintain that red plate, exiting the joker.
That's just a textbook joker. Jeez.
The World Championship driver certainly on pace in car number 13. Gap is 3.5 seconds over 6 laps.
I think he gained like 3/4 of a second just from that joker. That was inch perfect.
Looks like Betty was black flagged. He took 2 jokers, so he will be DQ'd from the heat race. He'll be put to the back of the semifinal. Final corner for Rafos. We thought he wasn't going to be here, but the points leader has won heat number 1 here in Norway. Pole position yet again. Will anybody stop him? Transferring is Larill in the 213, as it's Forster, Okenhaug, Ragster, Ost, Aldrich, Cryer, Kingsbury, Periol, and Abedi. That will be our remaining running order and finishing order here in Hell.
Yeah, I don't think you could have asked for a better start if you're Jacob Rafos, outside of maybe showing up a bit earlier and having a bit of track time, because he showed up really last second. But on pole for the feature now, he's really setting himself up for a real good chance at breaking this record that's been here for ages.
And people will ask me, why are you dealing with such a ridiculous style record? You would think that someone over 10 years would have won the first 3 rounds of the championship. It's never happened. Everyone runs out of luck at round number 3, or something goes wrong. We're going to get ready here for heat number 2. Kraus, Claude, Pellegrini, Palacio, Mowry, Lambert, Wetz, Crosgrove, Belton, Quinn, and Garber. Another 6-lap race. Fiercely forward teammates on the front row. Green flag. 3 wide down to turn number 1. Kyle Pellegrini crosses in front of the fiercely forward cars, and they're both taken out in turn 1. To the lead goes it's Brandon Lambert in the 46. I thought it was Ost.
Looks like more chaos.
Clog into Mowry in the 815. And around goes the 815.
It's just an absolute mess. It all started with Pellegrini trying to take that joker on the start. He didn't care about Clog's existence, to be honest, and just kind of turned in on him.
And why? What will go wrong? What else is going to go wrong for our defending champion? Something I haven't said in literally 5 years. Brandon Lambert leads at the end of the first lap, the inaugural champion in the 46, ahead of Cody Crosgrove and Josh Clog.
It's not just any lead for Lambert either. I think it was like 3 seconds, but I think he just took the joker because the gap's down to 3/10.
He did take the joker, so this is good though, because it is a longer lap. So now he can focus on just holding these guys up and trying to maintain that gap.
Yeah, but now that he's taking the joker, and he's got those guys close to him, he has to really make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, because one mistake and he's gonna get swallowed up, and he possibly won't be in transfer position.
Now Luke Kraus on the outside looking in, not only for the heat race, but just in relation to last week. What could possibly go wrong? And I mean, this is something that I don't want to say, but I mean, after a really smooth sailing season last season, it was bound to happen. It's only happened once where you get 3 in a row, and even Dylan Liminggood had issues in that 3rd season in a row back in 2013.
Yeah, all the bad luck's just piled onto him these last 2 rounds. Hopefully he'll be able to find a way to transfer through this heat for his sake, but it's looking real difficult for him right now.
We're out on board the Canadian Cody Crosgrove in car number 18, hunting down the American from Alabama, Brandon Lambert in car number 46. 5 career wins for the American, but they all came back on NASCAR 2003. He has not won since 2014, so certainly a little bit behind there on the wins list is Kyle Pellegrini in the 04 in 2nd spot. If I was Lambert, I'd be a little worried.
I'd be terrified if I was Lambert. You saw what happened at that start. I wouldn't really trust this guy, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh on him, but I'd be scared.
As of course, we'll have a review panel after the race take a look at that one. Josh Clog sitting in 3rd. He is jokered. Crosgrove is jokered. Palacio has as well. Brock Quinn and Mike Garber have not jokered. Garber's actually off the track in the 11. So this might be on merit, given the fact Merritt equals the field wadding it up in turn 1, but Lambert still holding strong. And Luke Kraus trying to bash his way through to a transfer spot. Remember, it is only the top 2 in this heat race.
Yeah, I think it's near impossible for Kraus to transfer through. He just needs to keep his nose clean and don't collect any unnecessary penalties. Because I know he's probably driving with a bit of red mist right now after that start. He's just had so much bad luck recently.
White flag for Brandon Lambert in car number 46. Pellegrini in the 04 in second. Garber back on track in the 14. Josh Klog sits in third, but it's going to be too little too late for the American from Maryland. Of course, anything can go wrong. We saw what happened last week. They crashed in the final corner.
Oh, don't have him do that again, Josh. You just had to mention that. Why you gotta curse him like that?
Yeah, I probably didn't. Marcos Palacio around in front of Luke Kraus. That's not going to affect Kraus for a transfer. He'll get a little bit better grid, but Brandon Lambert, what a surprise. Literally winning Heat 2 in Norway. Ahead of Kyle Pellegrini in the 04. Josh Klog on the outside looking in the 199. Crosgrove, Kraus, Palacio, Wetz. And it looks like Belton got by Quinn, Mowry, and Garber.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't think anyone saw that coming with Brendan Lambert. Obviously, they did all wad it up at the start, but it's not like he was slow either. He was holding a really competitive pace that entire heat. He didn't really let Josh Klog or anyone else who got caught up in that turn 1, lap 1 chaos catch up to him that much.
So now, heat number 3, it's another fiercely forward car on the front row of the grid. Alderton, Schofield, Kingsbury, Robichaux, Moftaw, Campbell, Lind, Watson, Fisher, and Peterson. There's another late entry, James Watson. He sent me a direct message on Discord 5 minutes before the driver's meeting and said, "Can I race?" And I said, "Sure."
Let's see if this fiercely forward car can survive the start. Obviously, those other two had real bad luck last time.
Well, it might look like on stream. I don't think Trading Paints has cooperated with us. Pellegrini now races for TWR. He switched in the week. I don't know if Trading Paints is cooperating with Mr. Victor
It
Vallee.
is not. He was in a Spark car. I was scared because I see 2 Spark cars next to Aldrich here.
And it's okay. Alderton's car is not working on my Trading Paints either. So welcome to NASA, where everything is broken and doesn't work. But with Heat 3 getting ready to go here in Norway.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag. Looks like it's a little bit cleaner. The teammates nearly come together. Going down into turn 1. Kingsbury, will he Joker? Yes, he will. And he does not take out the entire field doing so. Exiting turn 1, the only car to Joker's Kingsbury and Alderton faring much better than his teammates in turn 2. Ahead of Schofield, Robichaux, Campbell, and Moftaw, the top 5. Down to turn 5. For the first time, we know how tricky this corner is. To the inside, Campbell on Robichaux, and the Sportsman cars come together. And the Sportsman points leader not... I think he's trying to get by his rival there, but it obviously hindered
Cost
him
him a position.
But I mean, he did what we said.
Oh, he's
Larill had to
drifting
do.
through there.
He did what we said Larill had to do, and you have to force it on this first lap, but that's what happens when it goes wrong.
Yeah, it's a risky game to play, and now he sees himself down in 8th.
Oh! Him and Fisher in turn 1, and our Sportsman points leader will have to go to the semifinal. Kingsbury, if we can take a look on the outside of Robichaux, he is in P3. So after surviving lap 1 and sneaking through, Ray Kingsbury might be the dark horse for a transfer spot or even the heat win.
I wouldn't count Robichaux out for it either. We'll have to see, obviously, but he showed really decent pace and knock hill, and he's keeping up with Kingsbury.
36.9 to a 37.2. Kingsbury crosses the line, a 38.1. So Alderton 0.3 up on Schofield that last lap, but he's hanging with him in the 27 is Schofield, and I will always mention it. Schofield was literally 5 feet from a transfer spot and fell out of the server a couple seasons ago here, so I think he has a vendetta against this track.
That poor guy. You don't have to remind him about it every time we go here, but yeah, David's looking good. As long as he doesn't fall out 5 feet before the start-finish line, he was almost a second quicker than Kingsbury that last lap, so we'll see if he can hold on.
We ride on board Marwan Moftaw, the Egyptian, in the 191, the 3-time race winner in the NASA Rallycross Challenge. He is 14th all-time on the wins list. He is one of the guys that have won the first 2 rounds of the championship, and then he has bad luck. But his bad luck is my scheduling crisis, because I suck at scheduling races. I put the Gymkhana round as the 3rd race of the season, and he decided not to show up. So I guess that's kind of on me as we take a look on the outside of the 191 there. We look at Alderton. Trading Paints is updated for me. He's in a black and pink car. It's a really gorgeous car. We'll try and get this fixed later on in the session here.
Schofield Joker.
Schofield Joker's in the 27. Where does he come out in relation to his teammate? Clears Kingsbury in the 25. Easily.
Yeah, that was a no contest between those two. Like, I know he went a second quicker that one lap, but I thought the Kingsbury had still held him at least a little bit close, but no, he's gone.
I think what hindered him, I mean, Kingsbury took the Joker on the first lap of the race. 38-1, 37-3, 37-3. I think because he was caught in traffic, maybe? I don't have an answer. So we take the white flag for Adam Alderton in the 33.
Was he caught behind Robichaux after Robichaux Joker? That's the only thing I can think of.
That would make sense. I'm not sure, but it would make sense for sure. Alderton exits the Joker. Easy hold of the lead for the 33. So Kingsbury's going to have to send it on his teammate, and we know Kingsbury's a very nice guy. I don't know if he'll get a little argy-bargy with his teammate here.
I don't think he'd get argy-bargy with his teammate, but if that was Matt Kingsbury, yeah, probably.
As we saw the brothers crash into each other on the last lap in Charlotte a couple seasons ago, so Matt certainly more aggressive than his brother. Final corner, Adam Alderton will win heat number 3. And the paint scheme fixes itself. And David Schofield will transfer in the 27.
It's really impressive how those Fiercely Ford boys were able to change color mid-race. I don't know how they do that.
Moftop Peterson, Lind, Fisher, Campbell. And what could have been for Tyler Campbell? When it rains, it pours. He went and crashed about 3 times in the span of 1 lap, and he will come home last in heat number 3. But now we will begin the round of the semifinals. And if you thought that turn 1 was important in the heat race, we're going to have 13 cars piling into turn number 1. Ben Forster, Ray Kingsbury, Cody Crosgrove, Ragster, Moftop, Palacio, Rich, Lynn, Belton, Kingsbury, Campbell, Garber, and P13, Alex and Eddie. 8 laps, Joker twice. And I'm scared. They are backed up to the wall. 5 rows deep. Green flag for semifinal A.
Oh, I'm scared, Josh.
From 1 car around, it's Palacio, but he saves it. 1 around, another 1 around. Looks like it's Belton.
Yeah, it looks like Belton just kind of got full throttle in the turn 1 there. I don't know who that was.
We're in the 21 as well. Leading is Forster ahead of Ragster and Aldrich. Campbell needs to make something happen, but would you send your teammate in order to make the feature? We'll have to see.
Well, you can only play the team game so hard. If he's holding you up and he's going to cause both of you a transfer spot, sometimes you just got to send it.
Palacio runs it wide. He was trying to fight Garber, and he's going to lose the spot to Kingsbury and to Crosgrove, it looked like, but he checks Crosgrove out of the way.
Did half the grid just go wide in the final corner there? What's up with these guys in the final corner? They seem to be struggling just no matter what the track is.
Jokering is Kingsbury. Jokering is Palacio. Palacio completes his strategy, the Argentinian, the 83. Lind in the 03. Battle for the lead as we look up front. Off the corner, Forster got a terrible run. Ragster takes the lead. I think Forster might have gotten a slowdown there.
I do believe he has. Yes, he definitely has. He was slowing down that entire dirt section.
So now this puts Campbell in a transfer spot. As Ragster, Forster, Campbell. We can try and get a Joker rotation here. And just take a look at who's taken their pieces of strategy. Nobody in the top 3. And this is going to stick everybody together. Ray Kingsbury and Palacio have completed their strategy. So Phil will have to keep an eye on those two as they're going to have that clear track. And like we've said for so many races, Aldris has taken 1 Joker, so he still has 1 left. Forster closing in on Ragster. That last lap, they were equal on lap time. The lap before to the inside.
Kingsbury's getting boxed in behind him.
Aldrich. Forster Joker. So does Campbell. Looks like Aldrich will Joker. Take him out of the picture. So
That's
Kingsbury.
Clean air Ray needed.
Kingsbury back to 4th.
Was that Forrester jokering ahead? I think it was.
That was
I'm not positive.
Aldrich, and Forster did joker. A Betty to the inside of Aldrich. Aldrich slips back. Another position. One car around, it was Lind in the 0-3. As I'm taking a look throughout the field here. We're going to take cross flags for Ragster as we take another look at Lind getting turned by Matt Kingsbury in the 21. No surprise there. I love you, Matt. I really do. Forster in the 23, still sitting second. Campbell in third. Ragster has not jokered.
How far behind is Kingsbury from Forrester? I think that's the fight right now. Oh wait, sorry, top 3 transfer, my apologies, but still, that's going to be a close battle between those two.
Kingsbury and Campbell. Campbell trying to make the feature race to ensure that he holds this Sportsman points lead. When I step away for the warm-up, I will get an update on who's Sportsman and who is not in the feature race, so we can figure out...
Palacio is actually quite close to Campbell. I think Palacio could get Campbell for this transfer spot.
38-1. Kingsbury. Jokering was Forster. Forster got passed by Campbell. Campbell runs it wide, nearly contact between them. Remember, these are teammates.
This is going to slow down Campbell even more.
TWR has two teams.
Oh, no.
They both run it wide. Kingsbury sneaks in, and contact between them and take Ray out of the equation, and Tyler Campbell.
That's played beautifully in the Palacio's hands, though, I tell you. Like, he couldn't have asked for that to go any better for him. He's almost guaranteed a spot in the final now.
2 laps to go for Sabian Ragster as we ride on board Palacio in the 83 into the 3rd spot.
C's just parted for Palacio there. Like, he didn't have to do anything. He just 3 spots for free.
Ragster, Forster, Palacio, the transfer. Kingsbury sits in 4th.
Did Ragster take his first joker that lap? If he didn't, he's going to get disqualified.
I think he did. I was paying attention off the monitor, and he did. We're going to take the white flag in semifinal A. We'll see when the graphic updates, just to be sure. Ragster takes his first joker. Ragster takes his second joker, so we'll see how big of a lead he still has. As Ragster through turn 2, down the hill. Forster pushing, but I don't think you really have to, as you have that spot locked in. Last lap, Ray was considerably faster than Palacio, but he's going to run out of time, I think.
Yeah, he kind of threw away any chance he had with that aggressive move on Campbell. It wasn't something he
Ragster
really needed to do.
Wins semifinal A, Forster in second, and one of the Fishsport cars will make the feature. Marcos Palacio in the 83 will transfer here in Norway. 13th Kingsbury, 15th Abeti, 17th Aldrich, 19th Matt Kingsbury. 21st Mofftaw, 23rd Crosgrove, 25th Tyler Campbell, 27th was Mike Garber, 29th, as I just lost it, was Belton, and 31st Matt Lind.
Chaos is definitely picking up. We had a pretty clean heats, but the intensity's picked up a lot here because this is the last chance people have to get themselves into the final.
So, we have, if I recall correctly, the defending Constructors Champions in this race. And you ask me, what? But Josh Clogg and Luke Kraus are in this race, according to Victor Vallee. Yes, they are. So, Clogg, Okenhaug, Robichaux, Kraus, Ost, Peterson, Wetz, Cryer, Fisher, Mowry, Perriot, Watson, Quinn. 13 cars, 8 laps, 2 jokers.
Green flag,
Hopefully turn 1's cleaner. Green flag. Wetz gets a great jump compared to Kraus.
Oh, Peterson got an amazing
Peterson
start
got
there.
a great jump. 3, 4 wide into turn 1. 3 cars take the joker. It looks like it's Ost, one of the Watson cars, and Peterson down to turn 2. Clogg. Okenhaug gets nudged by Robichaux on the outside. Kraus tries to take the fight. You remember, you have to get top 3 to take a transfer spot. Through turn 5. Very slow, very cautious.
Oh, they're wrecking my Kraus. Robichaux.
Into the wall goes Cryer.
Oh, that's
One car
a
pushed
huge
wide.
crash.
It was Mowry in the 815. He misses the dirt and he's caught on the wall. Ost to the inside of Peterson, so he takes the spot. Remember, they both took the Joker on the first lap. Josh Klog leads at the end of the first lap ahead of Magnus Ogenhout.
These three have already built a 2-second gap.
Jokering is Wetz. In crazy wet style, he changed his mind at the last second and nearly plowed into the wall.
I'm just shocked he didn't Joker on the last 2 laps. Who is this Chris Wetz guy anyway?
The last couple races he's been doing that. Inside, Ogenhout for the race lead on Josh Klog.
This is gonna get spicy.
Side by side over the dirt. Contact contact between them, I should say. Again.
Oh, they touch again.
Riding it is Klog to the final corner. Ogenhout to the race lead. Klog gets passed by his teammate. Kraus needs to get by Ogenhout. He needs the best spot he can because right now he would seed in 8th, which is on the 3rd row of the grid in the middle, I believe.
I don't understand.
Robichaux sneaks into 3rd.
I don't get the strategy from Ogenhout there. He did all that work to get around Klog, and he's just taken the Joker and put himself in other traffic.
There's Robichaux. Peterson sits in 7th. He has taken one of his Jokers. We'll see when the gaps update. Brock Quinn wide in the 005. Robichaux ran it wide in the final corner. Fiercely forward, trying to pull away. So they sit 1st and 2nd in the heat race here.
I think Peterson's a bit too far back to challenge these two, unless he's taken both his Jokers.
Robichaux Jokers in the 93. Where will he come out in relation? Quinn Jokers in the 005. Peterson will not pass Robichaux. And Ost in the 157 as well. But Robichaux still has one Joker left. The car that we have to look at here, boys, is Ost. Peterson wide in car number 9.
Yeah, Ost could be in a really good spot here. I don't know if it's going to be enough to transfer into the final, but he could easily get like a 13th, not a 13th, like a 14th place finish by finishing 4th here.
This is a huge battle, as this is for literally like 6th on back.
Yeah, they might not be racing to make a transfer spot, but they're still going to give it their all.
Exiting the Joker was Klog, so he holds the 2nd spot. Ost is in 4th.
Oh, that's a mess into the Joker. One of them
Peterson
missed
Jokers, Periel Jokers.
Was that Cryer who missed the Joker?
Cryer parked at the 05. I must have missed that. Peterson's going to get passed by Periel in the 118. And I think Robichaux is catching Klog.
It's close.
Jokering is Ogenhout in the 26. Periel spins in turn 5. Klog gets by Ogenhout. Robichaux finishes his strategy as well. He gets by Ost in the 157. So I think this race is going to be the fiercely forward cars and Ogenhout.
Yeah, I think these top three are safe unless Ogenhout gets up in any shenanigans, because I was saying the same thing about Ray, but then he got caught up in an incident at turn 5, so we'll have to see if Ogenhout just plays for the 3rd or he wants more.
2 to go for the defending champion Luke Kraus in car number 1. We pay attention to his teammate on board car number 199, Josh Klog. Ogenhout on the back bumper of the 199. Ogenhout, a 2-time winner in this series. He's won here at his home track here in Norway. And they both will have to Joker here on the final lap. Ogenhout tried really hard in turn 5 to make it work.
Come on, Magnus. You know what happened to Ray when he tried that move.
Slow down for the defending champion. This is huge because he has to Joker. White
Does Kraus
flag
have to Joker? I thought he took his 2nd Joker last lap.
We'll see if the graphic updates here. Maybe my heart attack will end. Kraus does not have to Joker.
Where's Robichaux?
Klog Jokers. Robichaux to the race. No, he's not. Robichaux does not get by Klog. I got him mixed up with Ogenhout. My apologies there. But Magnus Ogenhout leads here in Norway ahead of Luke Kraus.
I know it's not many points we're talking about here, but that 1 point that Kraus is losing out on by not winning the semifinal could be huge at the end of the season.
We've seen that happen so many times between
He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it.
He's going to try the outside.
On the outside.
In the final corner, tried to cut him off. He can't do it. Ogenhout wins semifinal B ahead of Luke Kraus in car number 1. Klog will transfer. He will be our 12th and final seed. 14th Robichaux, 16th Ost, 18th Periel. As Wetz will come home. P6, so that will put him 18th, 20th Quinn, 22nd Watson, 24th will be Peterson, 26th Periol, 28th Cryer, and 30th, it looked like, let me see, 30th was Cryer and then Mowry. I'm going to step away and update these points. If we bring in Victor Vallee, I'll be back in a couple minutes.
All right, so Phil, I know you can't do too much talking, but it's hard not
Josh
to.
had to run away from me.
Yeah, it's hard not to be talking right now. It's been pretty interesting.
Yeah, there was a lot of action in that. Obviously, Luke with the unexpected slowdown. I don't think anybody really saw that coming. But that turn 5, it's so easy to get a slowdown because obviously, well, I say obviously, if you haven't driven the track, the fastest line through turn 5 right now is you kind of want to mount the car on the curb, and there's like a bit of extra grip there that helps you get around the corner. And if you go too far to the right, it gives you a slowdown. And I think he just nabbed it, even though he was comfortably in the lead, and that just kind of threw it away for him. Obviously, he still made the final, but that 1 point might be huge.
Yeah, and we can go ahead and pull this up real quick. Actually, we can't. I thought we could. I was going to try to get the starting grid up for the feature, but with that said, I believe it's going to have Rafos and I can't remember who won the second heat.
Let me
Brandon
see if
Lambert
it's been...
and
Lambert,
Alberton
yes.
won the third.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
so
Josh is back already.
that's
No,
your-
I can't let you guys drown, so now I'm gone again.
Yeah, that's your
Oh.
top. That's your top 3. That's gonna be your first row there, I believe, right?
Yeah, Lambert's a real shocker to be up there. Obviously, like we were mentioning in the heat, he did a really good job. He held a really good pace. Obviously, he got a bit lucky with all the chaos, but the pace is there for Lambert, which you haven't really been able to say a lot recently. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to be able to do in this final.
Yeah, and I think one thing that Lambert does very well compared to a lot of drivers in this series is keeping his nose clean, and that's such an important thing to do in rallycross racing. You got to keep your nose clean, because if you start getting into battles for position down the pecking order, you're going to lose so much time, especially if the drivers in front of you have yet to take their joke.
Yeah, definitely. And it's such a hard thing to do in rallycross with those starts, because 12 cars under a second barreling into a corner as tight as turn 1 is here. Like, in order to avoid the chaos all the time, you gotta have some serious skill.
Yeah, exactly. Just thinking about it now, is in order to avoid the chaos, you kind of have to be part of the chaos, because you can't be behind it and you can't be in front of it most of the time.
Come one with the chaos.
Exactly. You kind of have to become one with the chaos and just kind of slice and dice your way through. It's so hard to do, and it just requires an incredible amount of skill. It's kind of like missing the big one at Talladega for a lot of the stock car fans.
I don't know much about
Yeah.
missing the big one at Talladega. Usually I'm caught up in it.
Yeah. I mean, I am too, so don't worry. I'm probably the cause of it, so if anyone's got to be mad, it's
Victor,
probably
you
me.
dirty wrecker.
Yeah, it's all my fault. I'm Jimmy Johnson in the 2005 Aaron's 499. That's who I am.
You reminded me of that commercial, the boom confetti.
Oh yeah, that's quite the unfortunate thing. But
I gotta
with that
say,
said,
looking at these warm-up times, looks like the rest of the grid should be on watch right now for Rafos. I believe he's the only driver in the 36s right now.
oh, you do have
36.959.
Alderton though, with a
Alderton can do a
36.998.
Oh, could be spicy. It's not the fiercely forward card we thought would be fighting Rafos, but
I think one thing that a lot of people didn't expect, and I don't think anyone expected it, was the struggles of both Clog and Kraus to make the feature. It was just such a messy heat there for them. They had to go through the semifinal and make it to the feature now, and it's just
but they're gonna be starting right in the middle of the chaos for the final. And
exactly.
when Kraus started in the middle of the chaos last week, we saw how that went. 11th place, and he wasn't even able to finish the race.
Exactly, and at this point, a lot of people could be writing Luke Kraus off for the championship if Jacob Rafos makes the rest of the races this year. It's very possible if Rafos wins it here, it's going to be a incredibly hard battle for Kraus to even try to make up that points deficit he has.
Yeah, and we're saying this and it's only round 3, but Rufos
Yeah.
has just been so dominant this season. Like, I don't think he's lost a single point since the season started.
I believe you are correct on that. I believe he's had max points in every single race.
Yeah, it's impossible to compete with that. Like, you can have a championship caliber season finishing second in 8 out of the 10 races, but if your competition's winning all those races, yeah, good luck.
Exactly. And we're going to turn this back over to Josh for the feature.
As we welcome you to round number 3 of the NASA Rallycross Challenge in 2022A. It's round 209 of the championship overall, and the 25th season. We have Jacob Raffos on pole position in car number 13, inaugural champion Brandon Lambert in the 46, in the middle, Adam Alderton on the outside. Robbie Larill, Kyle Pellegrini, David Schofield, Sabian Ragster, Magnus Okenhaug, Ben Forster, Luke Kraus, Marcos Palacio, and Josh Klog. We want to keep an eye on the sportsman race. It is Pellegrini versus Lambert, and everybody else, of course, going for overall. As our broadcast today brought to you by Fisher Disc Golf, we appreciate Ian Fisher and thank him for his support of this race this evening, FisherDiscGolf.com. And it's hard to bet against our points leader, perfect season so far, Jacob Raffos. And we have the inaugural first 2 rounds winner, Elliot Porterfield, in the chat, as very excited to have him hanging out with us here on the Automotive Sports Network. Won the first 2 rounds of the championship back in July of 2012. The joke is he crashed at Negus and broke his legs and became a cyborg, but realistically we had a fallout and everybody else quit. But, you know, it's just NASA Rallycross.
Just NASA Rallycross moments.
This turn 1, I don't know what's going to happen. Of course. Woo. As everyone grids up. Will Raffos beat or break this record that has stood for 10 years? Bo Albert got close. Sindre Silva got close. Connor Parisi got close. Marwan Moftah got close. But nobody has ever won the first 3 rounds of the championship consecutively in a row. Or will Brandon Lambert break his winless streak for over 5 years? We'll have to see. 10 laps, 12 cars, getting ready to go here in Norway. Pay attention to Schofield's got a clear run to turn 1. Will he get a good start? Thank you for joining us here on ASN as we go green in Norway and off the line. Lambert goes wide to avoid Raffos into turn 1. Jokering's Alderton. Jokering is everybody except for Raffos out of the top 3. Put Larill into the 2nd spot. Klog cut the track in the 199. Schofield got a terrible start. Down the hill into turn number 5. Larill hits the wall. Take him out of the equation. Okenhaug through the corner. And here comes Luke Kraus, the defending champion, trying to make something happen as we go up the hill, back down the hill to end the first lap of the race. And Raffos needs right where he needs to be. Kraus gets by for 3rd, but Raffos leads at the end of the first lap ahead of Okenhaug, Kraus, Larill, and Palacio, the top 5.
This is the exact opposite of what everyone wanted to see on that first lap. Rufos, the quickest car on track by some margin most of tonight. He's already built up almost a 2-second lead. It's lap 2 at 10. Come on, man, give everyone else a chance.
One car missed the start. It was Sabian Ragster. He just exited the pit lane. So we will put him back to 12th. Now, Kraus cannot spend this time and battle with Okenhaug. He's got to get by him if he wants to try and take the fight to Rufos at 13.
I think Rufos is already too far gone. He's over 2.5 seconds clear of this bunch. I don't know how they can challenge him. I think that record's breaking, Josh.
We still have 8 laps. Final corner for Kraus. He's still trying to get by. Car number 26. If I was him, I would take the Joker right now to get clear track. Larill Joker's in the 213.
Rufos was over a second quicker than Magnus and Luke that last lap. It's insane the lap times he's pulling out right now.
I think that Magnus is holding Kraus up. We know that Kraus is part of the DWC, a pro driver here on the service. We know Raffos is in the pro championship as well. Magnus is quick, but he's not in that bracket, and he might be hindering Kraus. Or there's no might. I think he is.
Oh yeah, there's no might on it. He's definitely holding up Kraus, but he's not obliged to get out the way. He's racing for second place here.
I'm just curious as to know the reasoning of no Joker, as Okenhaug Joker's in the 26. This is going to give
That's the free air Kraus was looking
track,
for. But
I would have Jokered
it's too
last
late.
lap.
It's too late for him, I think. Like I'm saying this on lap 4 at 10, but I think it's too late for him.
36.8, 37.7. We'll have to see what the lap time will do with the clear track. But Raffos, 4.5 ahead of Kraus in car number 1 here.
Has Alderton jokered? Magnus is pretty close behind him. I'm not sure if he's going to get held up here.
Dragster out of the way of the lead lap cars here. Alderton, I don't think he did joker. He jokered last lap.
That's going to be a tight battle between Alderton and Oakenhog here. If Kraus jokers this lap, he might be stuck behind the both of them. That's exactly what he doesn't want to see. So now he's just got to keep it. He's got to keep running the normal lap.
4-second gap, but Kraus was 0.2 down, but the gap has shrank for just a minute. As we take a look, Rafos, Kraus, Alderton, Palacio off the corner, and Loril gave him the spot, but he gave up a position to Pellegrini.
I think Robbie had a slowdown there as well.
He had to have got a slowdown. We take cross flags here in play. Kraus was a 10th up on Raffos, but it's too little too late, I think, and it's unbelievable that I'm saying that halfway through the race.
Yeah, it really is, but Rafos has just been so dominant this season. When you give him a 4-second lead, good luck.
We'll have to see, though. I have that live telemetry, luckily. Palacio goes wide. He gets passed by Pellegrini, so put Pellegrini to, looks like it's 6th.
I'm not completely sure Kraus is even going to be ahead of Alderton. Alderton's lapping in the low 37s right now. Like, he's going about a 10th and a half a lap quicker, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
$36.8 to a $36.9. Raffos versus Kraus. Alderton, 37.0, and the delta's 3.5 seconds. This is going to get a little interesting. He got a slowdown, so never mind about the delta.
Look at us go. We're cursing him again.
3 laps to go for Jacob Rafos. One car I'm a little disappointed at. I think Lambert just hasn't had good luck. I think he got crashed into on the start. The inaugural champion started 2nd. He's back in 11th, the last car on the track. Unless
yeah, something happened to Clog as well, I believe, or he just hasn't been able to make up positions.
But Lambert did joker on the first 2 laps of the race.
Yeah, he had a really messy joker on the first lap, because obviously most of the field was throwing themselves into the joker, and I think he just got rubbed the wrong way and got pushed back.
2 laps to go for Raffos. The gap is still about 4 seconds. We look at David Schofield battling with Adam Alderton. This is for the last spot on the podium. Let's try and take a look here. Alderton has completed his joker, he has 1 left, and so does Schofield. So the battle for 3rd is on here in Norway.
This battle for 3rd might get ruined by Savion Ragster, though. He's right ahead of these guys.
He jokers. I stand corrected. Alderton has completed his strategy. Schofield has not. Has Raffos jokered? I don't think I saw him joker. We'll have to see here. Because if he hasn't...
no, if he hasn't jokered, that's such an awful way to not break a record.
He has not jokered! Rafos has not jokered! This is going to DQ him instantly!
Oh, Josh, it's happened again.
It does not matter what happens on the road. Jacob Raffos has not jokered. Luke Kraus might win this race, so there's no might.
It's going to be a battle between the Fiercely Ford teammates for the win today.
Luke Kraus holds the lead ahead of Adam Alderton. The graphic might show it, but Jacob Raffos has not jokered at all.
He did joker on the start of lap 10, but he didn't take 2 jokers. He only took 1.
He did not take 2 jokers. The 13 is disqualified, and the record stands. Luke Kraus overcomes adversity and wins in Norway ahead of his teammate Adam Alderton. What a race! And why can this record not be broken? As 3rd place on the podium is
3 wide.
3 wide at the line. And that is a pure reason why anything can happen in NASA Rallycross, and it usually does.
Wow. I can't believe that for Rafos. Obviously, he showed up really late, so... And in the heat, you only have 1 joker, so I think he just forgot that there were 2 sorry. I think he forgot there were 2 jokers in the final.
The time penalty, as As Victor Vallee, you are correct. There is a time penalty, but we do not go off of that here at NASA. It is a DQ if you do not complete the format correctly. So Rafos disqualified.
Oh, it was
That's
such
gonna be
a
a fun one
dominant
to-
display from him as well. Like, it's like I know he wasn't here on time, but he's run 2 races this season already.
It's the
He knows
thought
the rules.
process. The format does not change. The format does not change.
Well, the record stands, Josh, but that is such a weird way for it to remain.
In NASA Rallycross fashion. We know we're not going to get an interview with our race winner, but wow. After crashing or getting crashed, getting turned in the heat race, he's your race winner. Wow.
Yeah, that was a really topsy-turvy race for the whole Fiercely Ford bunch. Like, we had 2 cars in the second semifinal, and they've pulled a 1-2 out of it. I don't think anyone could have seen that coming.
I haven't seen that in quite some time. Give me just a minute here. My mouse has died, so we'll get to that in just a minute as we pay attention to our race winner here. Welcome to technology where your mouse decides to die as you're trying to use it. Welcome to live streaming, too. As Victor Vallee, help me out here while I drown in this cable.
I mean, I suppose I can. So,
Should we think about helping Josh out?
I mean, I can at least kill some time for Josh.
I
worry,
don't
I'm back now.
see, I
We're
don't
back,
see
baby!
Luke Kraus in any channel,
Yeah.
so I can't drag him up.
Yeah, I was gonna say Luke Kraus,
He's
notorious.
hiding from us.
I was gonna say he's notorious for not getting a post-race interview. But
He's too good for us.
But the Fiercely Forward car has done it again, and he is back on top. Probably not the way he wanted to do it, but a win is a win. And Luke Kraus, a huge day in the points, especially considering the DQ to Rafos here that's coming.
As I'm trying to take a look
Yeah,
and
we
see.
were talking before this race started how it looked like Rafos was on his way to pulling an unsurmountable lead. Obviously, it was only round 3 of the season, but still, that's all flipped on its head after that. I don't think anyone could have seen a disqualification coming for him after how dominant he'd been. But it's just a mental error, and it's so easy to happen.
Yeah, and I know Jacob is probably kicking himself for that, and as he should, obviously. But at the same time, you can't take away the performance that Jake did have today. He drove an incredible race. He just made one mental mistake, and it cost him.
Yeah, it's real disappointing for Jacob, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And
Absolutely.
with it, Luke Kraus is a race winner, and I think the battle at the top of the point standings is probably within 5 points after that.
I believe
we're gonna
you
have,
are correct.
We're going to have one interview, as our top 2 are historically not wanting to have an interview. We're going to have a chat. Have a chat with Magnus here, as Mr. Okenhaug. I know, obviously, Norway does not follow daylight savings, so I don't think you even expected to race. How was your race this evening, good sir?
Much better than the other 2 rounds. My only aim for tonight was to survive turn 1 and hopefully get to the feature. So with the limited of practice I had, but to get on the podium is a huge relief.
As it does say P4 on the stream, but because Rafos did not take 2 jokers, he is disqualified from the feature race. So you're in third. It's your first podium in quite some time. And I'm trying to see if Alderton's going to show up. But from your perspective, as I look at the results, I can't remember if you won a heat race or not. You won the B main, so the second semifinal. How chaotic was it that 13 cars went into turn 1 at the same exact time?
I didn't really have in mind that there was certain cars for the B main, but like my only aim was to get to the feature, and then I saw Luke Kraus get a slowdown, and then I saw the opportunity. But when I tried to overtake Josh, like the lap, I think it was the same lap, but the lap before, I tagged him slightly, and then I bent my steering, so I drove the last 2 laps with like a broken car. And I was just fighting to keep the car on track and defending with all my powers, really.
As I know that Phil's not feeling the greatest, so he doesn't handle the interviews. Do you have any partners you'd like to thank? Because it's actually, come to think of it, this is TWR's first podium. So I guess before I ask about partners and such, how does that make you feel that you get the first podium for the team in NASA?
I must feel great for them because they are such a great team to be with. We come along well, and we also support each other. So, like, for me, they really deserve this after all, like, from the last seasons they've been in NASA. So hopefully this is a step in the right direction from now on.
As great run for you, my friend, and we will see you next week in Spain.
Yeah, we will.
As we have, we got so caught up with what the hell happened for the overall race lead. Pellegrini won Sportsman, so we'll see if we can get a chat with him as well. But we're going to have a chat here with Adam Alderton and Fiercely Forward. It is a 1-2 finish, an unexpected 1-2 finish for the team. But Adam, how was the race from your perspective?
Yeah, it was alright. It was very bizarre how that race went down. So much happened, at least for me anyway. Like, I don't even know. It flew by, but then again, it went so slow at the same time.
As I'm always bad at these because I'm so focused on what's going on, it was equally as crazy for us as we noticed that Jacob didn't take his first Joker on lap 9, and you guys flip into a 1-2 finish. I mean, how was the race from your perspective? I know you were out front for most of your heat race.
Yeah, it was alright to be fair. It was just more me by myself. I had Savian in front a lap down for half of the race. That held me up a little bit, but that's just one of those things at the end of the day. Overall, it was an alright race for me. Could have been a bit cleaner at the start, maybe, if I got the Joker right. But it's Rallycross. Things happen. And heavy wave for P2.
Any sponsors or anybody you'd like to thank for your podium tonight?
Josh and Luke at Fiercely Forward, and Kez Industries for the support outside of sim racing.
As good run, and we will see you in Spain next week.
See you next week.
And I'm going to try and have a chat with Kyle Pellegrini here. Kyle, we got so crossed up with the overall win. You have won the sportsman class for this evening.
Yay!
From your perspective, my friend, we were looking and we were confused at the top 3. And next thing you know, Victor and Phil are losing their minds over like 5th on back. How was it in the Hornet's Nest?
I mean, this is my first time here in hell. It's a little too confused for me because I'm actually a new guy in this sport, so dude, I'm nervous as hell right now. I'm so sorry. But it feels good, bro. I never won in this championship yet, but I'm just looking at the replay and I killed Josh. So Josh, my bad, brother. I don't see you. Crap.
Well,
But
at least we have an admittance of an incident.
yeah,
I don't know if
yeah,
you
that's
want to admit
because
to murder on a broadcast, though.
no, it's not a murder. It's like a kiss, I guess. I mean, I
Are you
just
professing
so
your love?
nervous.
I mean,
and
that's understandable.
yeah, right. But I'm happy, man. I'm nervous and I'm happy. And I thank you, everyone on the TWR team. And yeah, you, Josh, because you made an awesome race and an awesome championship. And that's it. And sorry, my English.
So to be honest, I was expecting much worse. But I have one little fact for you. The guy that you beat for the race win in the sportsman class this evening, Brandon Lambert, he's the inaugural champion of this series 10 years ago. So I don't know if you want to celebrate that in your time after this interview. But Did you have any other partners you'd like to thank? I know you thank TWR, but any sponsors or anything like that?
Oh, I mean, I like to thank the Brazilian community, the drift community, and because the guys helped me a lot in here, and I'm the only Brazilian in the iRacing IRX right now, and the guys helping me with a few stuffs and give me some gas to the future, and I'm really proud about that. I mean, the Rio Tech guys, the Koa, it's King of Asphalt guys, and that's it. TWR, Nitro Circus, Hoonigan, and these guys. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
All righty, my friend. Good run, good win, and we will see you next week in Spain.
Hell yeah. Lambert.
Oh, well, I moved him by accident. Welcome to NASA. I moved myself.
by accident.
Welcome to NASA. We know what we're doing. As, I guess final thoughts, as we're going to wrap this thing up, is, I made fun of Wetz for years at Croft. He asked me, what's the format? What's the format? I guess we have to ask.
What's the format?
What's the format? As, Phil, like I said, I know you're not feeling good. Thank you for being a trooper. What are your final thoughts for tonight?
Expect the unexpected. I think after the first lap, we kind of settled into the fact that Jacob was probably walking to a victory there, and he was going to break that record, but obviously he missed his joker on lap 9, and we didn't expect the unexpected, but the unexpected happened once again, and we really should expect that in NASA Rallycross now. That's a lot of expecting, but you get what I'm saying.
And Victor, if you'd like.
I mean, honestly, it's NASA Rallycross. There's curses that are going to live on forever. I think this is one of them. I really do think this is one of them, and I don't think that the curse of winning the first 2 races will ever be broken. I think we saw it with Bo Albert here a couple years ago. He had computer issues after winning the first 2 rounds of the season. And then, or actually, I think it was Connor Parisi. I can't remember who it was. Yes, and...
But Bo Albert got taken out. I remember that.
Yes, and it just seems like every single year there seems to be something different to take the guy who's won the first 2 races of the year out. It just never fails.
So, as of course we'll get an update on points before next week's show. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Fisher Disc Golf, FisherDiscGolf.com. Thank you to Ian Fisher for all the support that you give us for the NASA Rallycross Challenge. As I echo the statements of Mr. Kraus and Mr. Vallee, it's going to be a curse that lives on, and appropriately, I'm going to blame Elliot because he's in the chat and he's actually been engaging with everyone that we have, and it's good to see Elliot Porterfield back around the NASA community. From all of us at North American Simulated Auto Racing and the Automotive Sports Network, we thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NASA Rallycross Challenge. Next week, we go to Barcelona to complete the European swing, and we'll see if everyone knows the format next week. For Victor Vallee and Philip Kraus, I am Josh Mertz. We will see you next week in Spain to round out that swing like I talked about, but until then, so long, everyone.